started off upbeat, and I wanted to start off the music at the opening of the show upbeat. I wasn't gonna start with no boring ass music and some om and an and when whenever I used to talk about Ahmen on the old broadcast when I talked around, I never did a full length show on Ahmen. I opened up with this om and music, and that's stuff from the East, and it's Eastern philosophy and people trying to tune in and connect themselves, by tones and vibrations and things like that. But I just totally wanted a new and livelier vibration when I started speaking on Ahmen and Ahmen Ray. More futuristic, more today. See, because whenever we hear about Ahmen Ray, we always hear about these two beings. And yes, they are two beings. It's not the same person. There's Ahmen and there's Ahmen Ray. And we always used to hearing about them as mythological gods from ancient Egypt. And we think that these gods or deities are characters, mythological gods, thought up by the Egyptians, the ancient Kemites, Tamarayans, whatever you want to refer to them as. But not so. Not so. The name Ahmen Ray, did not develop in Egypt, was not the concept of the ancient Kemites, the ancient Egyptians. We're going to talk about that tonight, and we're going to prove it, through logic, through chosen sense, through close observation. You're not going to find this information in any of your Egyptology books or books written by the white men or these Negroes that went to college and studied Egyptology and basically copied a lot of the philosophies from the white man. But we're going to definitely get into it. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mentel Radio. And tonight we're talking about Ahmen and Ahmen Ray. And we're talking about the truth and the reality of these living gods, these true and living gods on earth today. Like I said, today I'm not interested in Ahmen of the past. We heard a lot about Ahmen of the past. And a lot of these Egyptologist people, they trip over their feet trying to basically figure out what it is the Egyptians was trying to say about Ahmen. What was, who was Ahmen Ray? Who was Ahmen Ra? And they pronounced all kinds of Amen, Amun. And, when we used in the state of Mentel the name Ahmen, and we spelled it Ahmen, we were basically letting people, that was our way of letting people know that the name Ahmen in the state of Mentel was in a state of evolution from Amen, though certain people did spell it Ahmen, but it's actually pronounced Amen. The way we spell it in the state of Mentel, Ahmen, is actually the way it's pronounced, because you got people in religion saying Amen. And it's actually supposed to be Amen, not Amen, not Amun. But you got different pronunciations based on the people and the language, the tongue. Factually, the name Ahmen, right, thought to be, rightfully thought to be the chief deity, or was considered the chief deity at one time in ancient Egypt, over all the gods or the deities. But that name developed over time. If you trace back the name Ahmen, you see that it started from the name Men, M-E-N or M-I-N, and it developed into Ahmen, right, who became the chief god, was also the chief god in Nubia and all the surrounding areas in that time in ancient societies. Ahmen was considered to be the most high god, chief deity. They had statues of Ahmen, black man with a crown on his head, and sometimes he was depicted as being blue, right, and reddish brown skin. Obviously, you could see he was a black man. However, the the so-called Egyptians today, who are not the real Egyptians. They tried to hide this fact along with the white man and the people in Freemasonry, all the people behind it, and the so-called historians and Egyptologists try to hide the fact that this Amen deity, this man God, who obviously walked the earth in physical form, to have so many statues of him made that look pretty much the same, that he was actually a black man. They sculpted out, painted out the images of black men. And he always wore the same kind of crown. Sometimes he could be seen wearing a ram's horn, right? And, people would misunderstand what the crown on his head represented. Though you see in ancient Egypt, and you see in Freemasonry and the Moors and things like that, the wearing of the fez, right? Which actually comes from the god Amen. However, a lot of them are not aware of that. They think that these fezzes just popped up out of nowhere that they wear, and the black Masons do. The white Masons know better. They know where the fez comes from, and certain high order black Masons know that traces all the way back to ancient Egypt. The Masons who know that their foundation is in Egypt. The religion of today, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, will find its foundation in ancient Egypt, right? And at the end of their prayers, they seal it off with the name Amen, which they say means "so be it." This can be trusted. This is what they're told, and they ignorantly believe by the leaders and the theologians of their religion. However, a lot of these higher-ups in organized religion are part and parcel of that secret, that name is actually linked to the deity Amen-Ra, I should say Amen. All right? We go back. When I tell people, people say, well, what are you doing? You trying to, Amen. You put Amen is the same God in ancient Egypt, and I said that Amen did not come out. The name Amen did not come out of the ancient Egyptian culture or the ancient Kemetic culture. You can find the name Amen developing as the cultures move forward. You can see the name Amen in Sumeria. You can see the name in going back as far as with the Dogons in Mali. We had different pronunciations, just as we do today, of the name Amen. You seeing it being picked up by the people and passed on. I said that there is no such thing as different languages. I said that every language is an evolving language into one language. The chief language of today, which has an amalgamation of different languages combined in it, is English. That is your main language of today. Everyone, like I said, everyone on the planet, I don't care where you go, someone somewhere speaks English. You will find someone or a group of people that speak English on the planet. And that was done purposely. In the English language, the name Amen was kept intact and translated all the way up, went through all of the languages, German, Latin, Arabic. All these languages took this name Amen, right? All the way through religion. Even the Buddhists say Amen at the end of their prayers. The Masons, they acknowledge secretly that Amen is God, right? Not so much a myth anymore. But we have to look at how the ancient world, how they depicted Amen. They obviously depicted Amen as a man, as a black man. And I said with every evolving language, you could see the link from the Sumerian, from the Dogon to the Sumerian, to the Egyptian, to the Nubian, that the word from, that they referred to their gods in Sumeria as Anunnaki. They referred to them as Enki and Enlil. In the word Anu, you see the amalgamation or the growing into the word Anubis. In the word En, you see the word men, or well, like I said, the word En meant Lord in ancient Sumeria, and it went into Amen or Men, which became Amen. You see how the Dogons pronounce their god as Amma, right? And the Dogon god, Amma, looked a lot like, in certain aspects, like a primitive version of the Amen statue with an elongated crown on his head. People thought it was the statue's head, but it was actually a crown. So you see different phases of this being Amen. So if you get all of these people that are basically linking the language together, and you see an evolution in the language, and you see an evolution in the God or the deity, and you see within these civilizations and societies group of people who are building, who are bringing technology on a higher level, then that must mean that they are in tune with something. Hell, they even said they were in tune with supreme beings or supreme deities. They said it. They said they were in tune with a god race or a group of deities that showed them how to build the pyramids. They never took credit for that. Just as this god race or this advanced race today still aids in the evolution of governments and organized structures on the planet, even America. They acknowledge Amen as God, which means they tuned in. It was said that George Washington did not believe in Jesus Christ or Christianity, that he actually prayed to Amen Re. Right? In religion, you speak about the Son of God, you speak about God and the Son of God. That dynamic, that father-son dynamic came from Amen and Amen Re. Amen is actually God, and Amen Re is the Son of God. The word Re translates as Son, S-U-N. However, it was translated by the Greeks and the Romans into Son, S-O-N, of God. So the whole idea of Amen and Amen Re, the God and the Son of God, was translated all the way up into your religions of today, your modern day religions, the Son and the Son of God. The Son, however, when they were making reference to it, when they talked about Amen Re, him being the Son of God, what that actually meant was that he possessed the light or the intelligence of God as the Son. Just as in this society, they acknowledge a bright person, right? They acknowledge someone who is intelligent as bright. Light resonates in society as intelligence, right? So if light resonates as intelligence, and you see a lot of the Egyptian deities with solar disc on their heads, right? And they had what appeared to be horns or metallic symbols on top of their heads that was worn on top of their crowns. That was representing intelligence or the light, vision, mental connection. Those attachments on their crowns appeared to be as though they were antennas connecting to something. That light represented intelligence. So when they translated it as the sun, however, a lot of the theologians who knew the truth about the story of Amen, though they've never encountered these Amen beings in the ancient world, talking about the Greeks and the Romans, they took the stories as they, passed them on, and they translated them into their gods. They changed the names and took the stories and pushed them on into their mythological gods. So as we got into religion, as the Catholic Church started taking names like Zeus, which was a mythological Greek god, and Jupiter, which was a Roman god, meshing them together to get Jesus, they took the whole Amen and Amen Re story of God and the Son of God and brought it right into Christianity. The sun, the light, the intelligence. Even the Israelites, right? Copy, totally. The word Israelite. If you look at their symbol, the menorah, the six-pointed star is a direct rip-off of ancient Egypt and Amen Re. Six-pointed star, or the shield of David, which they refer to it as actually two pyramids overlaid on top of each other. The light, the candelabra that they use actually represents fire or light. Sun, again, to see, intelligence. All of these things represent light, the light to see. Six-pointed star. Star represents what? Light, fire, power, the ability to see in darkness. These are all light symbols. Okay? The only symbol that wasn't a light symbol was the cross, which represented a death symbol. Ahmen made his way all the way up until religion. And the name Ahmen was kept intact at the end of all people's prayers in religion secretly to acknowledge that Ahmen and this Ahmen Ray, the one who would receive God's intelligence on earth, i.e., inspiration, advanced ideas, this was kept intact purposely. That name was kept intact purposely. It's not a coincidence. They wanted to keep that vibration of Ahmen on the planet. Even when you have a lot of your people chant Om and Aum and they're talking about the Omni beings, they're talking about the Ahmen beings, Ahmen, who begat men, who had physical descendants on earth. The pharaohs would talk about all the time being the descendants of God. Rays of light, ray of intelligence. That whole mindset of intelligence being bright and being intelligent, that was taken from the ancient Egyptians. A lot of things, a lot of sayings, and a lot of phrases came from the ancient Kemites of the Egyptians and was passed from the Nubians and all these people on upward. This wasn't the first time that these people encountered those ancient beings. And we have them in our midst today. We do have them in our midst today. Because if we acknowledge that DNA travels in genetics, that this God race walked the planet, that black people obviously had to see them in order to sculpt something, to sculpt statues. Even when you see the female deities, when you see the Asars and the Sets and things like that, these had to be actual people that walked the earth. Right? Now, people will say, oh, that's mythological, that's not real and whatnot, but people believe in Jesus Christ and you don't have a real picture nor proof that this person even existed, yet people believe that a Jesus Christ existed. Can't prove where this person was born, can't prove where this person walked at, nothing. Right? And if you do a little investigation, you find out that the story was ripped off from an Egyptian deity as well. Right? Osiris, I believe. No, I want to say Osiris, but I'm going to think of it in a second. It'll come to me. Yeah, Osiris, I believe, and the whole story of Mary and Jesus. But what people don't realize is that this Ahmen being, these Ahmen beings, or this Ahmen and this Ahmen Ray, and these deities were actually a race of people, or a race of gods. They all linked in a family structure. You look back in the Sumerians, you see the father, mother, son, civilization of gods. That's how they're represented as the Anunnaki. That's what they refer to as. In Egypt, they refer to as the Neteru, or the Neteru. Right? In religion, they refer to as angels and God, messengers. But these are a race of people. These are a race of advanced beings. Right? And they were shown first and foremost as black people, Ahmen beings. Just as you have human beings walking the planet, you have Ahmen beings who begat the human race, who created the human race. There's no coincidence that that name was kept in rotation, that it was kept within the boundaries of religion and even in the foundation of the society in your amendments. Okay? Look at the word amendment. There's also an area in the brain called Amonis. I believe it's pronounced Amonis cooptis. I have to look back at it. There's a center in the brain. But I'm going to talk about it more when we come back to it. The name Ahmen was kept in heavy rotation for a reason, because the powers that be, the secret societies, your Masons, your Illuminati, were acknowledging this Ahmen being, or this Ahmen and this Ahmen Ray, as the true and living God. Even in their name, Illuminati, which represents, again, what? Light. illuminated ones, the bright ones, right? They refer to themselves as the blue bloods, the sacred societies. But who were actually the blue bloods? Ahmen was painted as blue. Also, Enki in the Sumerian, who is still Ahmen, was also painted blue. Blue is the fastest moving color in the spectrum, which represents the speed of intelligence and light. This is reality. This is how thoughts move. This is how they were transmitting light to create rays or rays of light or intelligence in those beings who would be Ahmen rays. And Ahmen rays do exist today, meaning people who house that intelligence of that supreme being Ahmen. That's what an Ahmen ray is, one who houses the light or houses the intelligence or the sun, the light of the sun, which is higher intelligence, advanced intelligence, right? Future intelligence. That's what the whole purpose of that was in housing light, knowledge, because all things are hidden in darkness, and until you see them with your mind, with that mind's eye, or that light, then you receive advanced way of thinking, higher intelligence. Again, it's not nothing spooky. It's not nothing mythological. People pray for that connection, that reception, and they ask for it, and they're not even aware of what they're actually saying, where this is linking back to, or what this is linking toward. That power, that vibration has gone nowhere. Even if people don't acknowledge that this Ahmen and this Ahmen ray are real, you can't get away from the fact that there is higher intelligence that is contacting the planet, that went into creating the planet. Someone's higher thoughts, higher intelligence went into creating everything that is in existence. That is your Ahmen race. That is a race of advanced beings who walk the earth as black people, first and foremost, because black people were the first ones to build on the planet. So these beings came as black people, later replaced in your European societies, your American society as white deities, gods and angels, plagiarized. However, they kept the name Ahmen. I said the word En meant Lord. What do they refer to God as? The Lord, right? It's all connection, all connected. You're not going to find this in the books. You're not going to find this in their Egyptology, but it's all linked up. Everything that you're doing in religion, though it is adulterated, is linked back to Ahmen. All of these gods that the people worship in religion, Allah, Jesus, some gods they don't really have a name for. They just given deities and given Son of God and things like that. They given names and because God's name is supposed to be hidden, right? No one is supposed to really know God's name. The Israelites translated God's name to be I am that I am. What does that mean? They say that God's name is hidden, and then you find out that the name Amen from ancient Egypt, one of the attributes, one of the titles of it is hidden, the hidden one, right? This is all linking up. This is all one big puzzle that went into today. It's not no mystery. It's not no spookism involved. All of it is traced back to that black deity, that God, Amen, who exists today, who has receptors, rays on the planet, people who are receiving that intelligence, that future intelligence. Because the same people that received that future intelligence back in Egypt to build those pyramids and those societies and those advanced societies for the future are the same people genetically who are going to receive or be those rays that will receive that higher intelligence again to build into the future. That's how Ahmen resonates in the future with our people, if we pay attention. All right? People say, well, I don't know, that's a little bit, you seem like you're reaching, brother. No, it's not. It's very clear if you see it. These are the same people who got their heads up the ass of religion. They believe in some God called Allah, right? They believe in some God that they never saw before. There's no pictures of, nothing called Allah. but you had a picture of a god Amen, right? They believe in a Jesus Christ who nobody knows. They paint him as white, black, whatever. People believe that, but the story is a ripoff, and it correlates with Egypt, an Egyptian character, right? It's a ripoff. Jesus studied in Egypt. From the age of 13 to 30, his life is a mystery. There's a blank space, right? Same thing with Osiris. Set and Osiris is Mary and Jesus. All these names are ripoffs. God that they pray to in religion who has no name is actually Amen. He is the true and living God. You look at George Washington's haircut in Freemasonry. You understand? It's shaped like a namuz, which was a crown that the pharaohs wore. Right? So it's not far-fetched to acknowledge that they worship Amen. In fact, that A inside that divider's rod shaped A with the G inside of it represents God Amen. Hiram Abiff. High Ram. Highest Ram. All these things mean something. All these things link back to Amen. I said that Amen wore a ram's crown. When you see them making a horn symbol, right, which you call the Cornutu sign of the devil, the handheld Illuminati symbol, that is actually the crown of Amen. That is not no satanic symbol. There's no such thing as Satan. Well, the Sacred Ten, like I said before, that's a group today, the Illuminati, the Sacred Ten. They represent Satan, but they actually worship Amen. That's his symbol, the crown, the symbol of a black man, who they acknowledge exists today. That's real. For all you people, like I said, who believe in Jesus Christ, though you say he's black, but every time you open your mouth and say his name, you're talking about a mythological white god. The name is Greco-Roman. That's a mythological god. Amen actually is not. There's no way that this society, or Freemasonry, which is actually the society of the elite, the breeding ground for the Illuminati, there's no way they're going to worship a mythological god. They'll put a mythological god out for you, i.e. your Allahs and your Jesus Christ to worship, but they'll worship the real God, the black God. That's reality. That's real. While you've been giving your energy off all these years to a white Jesus Christ, or even if you painted him and put him in blackface and called him Christ, you were praying to nothing. You were praying to a myth. They were worshiping the true and living God, Amen. And I said one time to people, because I had this discussion with the Nation of Islam one time, and they said, "Oh, Amen, that's some statue god. He's not real. That's a statue and whatnot." I said, "Really? They said Master Father Muhammad is God. That's Allah. Allah is real." I said, "Really?" I said, 74 sects of 77 or 76 sects of Islam will disagree with you that he's not Allah. He's not God. Okay? But you all say Amen at the end of your prayers, and you don't even know why. That vibration is strong on the planet. Amen's name is being vibrated throughout this planet every second. Every time somebody's praying at the table, praying to Mecca, praying Om and an Amen and the Buddhist monks or whatever they're doing, that name is vibrating through this planet continuously. You really think that is a mythological God? Look at what we had when we worshipped Amen. We had civilization. We had society. We had the world. Now you look at us now under Jesus Christ. You look at us now under Allah. You look at us now. Look at our people now. Look at us under Israelites. Look at us under Yahweh Shah. We poor. We have nothing. We're slaves to these people who worship Amen, who you ignorantly think is some devil. Amen governs this society we've been off tack or off tune. Amen is real. The gods of the African gods and the Shangos and things like that. Those names were sectioned off in those little groups amongst the Africans. Amen is international. Amen is universal. We don't need no local gods. Universal God, a true and living God, a God whose name is said universally by everybody, though they say it without knowing. It doesn't matter. The vibration is moving through this planet. The vibration of the name Amen, the true and living God, is moving through the planet. That's real. That's real. All these other religions and these false gods and whatnot through all these other religions, that's nothing but confusion, meant to keep confusion going, while the powers that be, the theologians, they know who the true and living God is. They pay no attention to you talking about Jesus and Yahweh Shai and Allah. They don't pay no attention to you. They know that Amen is God. They make sure you're going to constantly keep sealing your prayers with Amen's name, keeping that vibration going, because they know the power of tone. They know the power of vibration. They know the power of saying that name and having that name permeating through the planet, resonating through the planet as a tone. They know it. That name attracts power. It attracts light. But the right people don't have Amen's name in their mouth. That is the black race. So-called black race. You don't have Amen's name in your mouth. And if you do, you have it as some sort of ancient Egyptian nonsense. Amen did not come out of ancient Egypt. Amen-Re didn't come out of ancient Egypt. These were a building up, an evolution to those names. Each society that were attempting to say his name based on language barriers, getting it lost in translation, this was a build-up to that name. Amma, En, Men, Amen. Need I go on till we got Amen today? Amun, Amin, it's all the same thing. That tells you something. That's real. But our people don't pay attention. Our people don't pay attention because we sitting around and you got a lot of these Negroes in the conscious community talking about Ahmen-Re from the past and from the past, this and that. Look, y'all don't know anything about that. You still sit up here and think that Ahmen-Re or Amen is the same person. A lot of them still think that Amen came out of Egypt, that he was some mythological god that was created in Egypt. When these Amen beings were coming to every civilization, pretty much, except pretty much for the white ones, well up into America now, but they came to every past civilization on this planet and set up societies, set up advanced societies with technology. These were advanced people. And they were mistaken, or they were called, should I say, not mistaken, they were called gods based on their intelligence. And their intelligence permeates this planet. The Amen being's intelligence permeates this planet today. Amen has representatives on earth as his rays, as his receivers. That's real. Ray is short for receiver. Now I know people say that, oh, that's crazy because that was that language and this is this language. I told you all languages are evolving languages. There is no English, there is no Spanish, these are all evolving languages from this God race. English is going to evolve into something else. There is no N with these languages. English, English, English. I said the word "en" meant Lord. They kept these words purposely. En, men, Amen, women. It's all the same. It's all the same suffix. En, Lord, fallen, those who fell in and ruled, as in 200 fallen angels or messengers, advanced beings, gods walking on earth. Advanced men and women, black men and women walking on earth. This is a reality. This is why they put those statues up of them in Egypt, in Sumeria. You understand that? In the Dogon, the Malians. the Nubians. They put these all up for a reason. This wasn't no mythological nonsense. You understand that? Our people, like I said, our people would be sitting up here talking about, oh, that don't sound right. That can't be real. Because you know what? You've been brainwashed to worship a white God. That's still in the minds of our people, to worship white people as God. Hell, it's in the mind of the Nation of Islam. It's because they sat up here and said, oh, brother, that can't be right. That's a bunch of mythology. But you believe in Allah, and you believe some man who like a white man, came as God. That you believe. And I'm not even going to go into the belief in the story on that. But they question Ahmen. Here it is, a black civilization was raised. Here it is, this society that you're under worships Ahmen. But yet, you sitting around here talking about some Allah, and y'all niggas are slaves under this society. Are you serious? You sit up here and you deny black people, civilizations of black people, ruling class black people that put these images up, but you say they was wrong because you want to worship a white image. That's brainwashing at its finest. White Jesus, white Allah, brainwashing at its finest. We'll be right back. All languages come through these Ahmen beings, this God race. They're the ones that taught the humans how to speak. We taught the humans how to speak. The God race, the Ahmen race that were walking the planet then are walking the planet now within an elect few within the black race. You elect are of the Ahmen race. You are the God race in this day and time. That's why I said when they talk about Ahmen, everything is past tense. Everything is talking about Egypt. You have to sit up here and try to explain what it is the Egyptians was talking about and what they meant. You understand? But if you look in, they still sitting up here relying on what the Egyptologist Dr. Ben and all these guys said. They still relying on rock formations or what some white Egyptologist said. These people don't know everything. They're going to give you bits and pieces. But it's very simple. All you got to do is see that all these societies were right in the same area. So you see the evolution of their gods and the pronunciation of N, the N key and the N lil, the lords of the earth and the lord of the sky. You see all these people to the falcon shoe and the sky god and all that. You see it's all the same people. To where Hebrews got the word Yahshua, you know what I mean, from the falcon god Shu, coming from the sky. All of that represented a god race. They picked it up and they took the language and traveled on with it. Where you see the Anu going into the word Anubis, you see it all translating and advancing and evolving into each other. They're sharing gods. They alter the name somewhat based on their limited understanding or pronunciation of it, but it is all an evolving language. It is like a puzzle that is constantly being added to. You understand? This God beings, this God race, these Ahmen beings came and spoke to the people. Right? They came and they walked amongst their creation. They walked amongst their manifestation, their children who came from their bloodline, i.e., your so-called black race, and they even walked amongst the humans here gradually. And they built, that's why they came here. Future beings that came to the past that can travel any timeline. These Ahmen beings are advanced beings of this God race, traveling the timeline, coming back in the past, showing people or giving people advanced knowledge for their time to move them into the future. That's why the Egyptians, the Nubians, the Sumerians, they were ahead of their time in building than everybody else. They had technology, just like America does today, have technology that's ahead of everybody. Obviously, the powers that be, the elite, the think tanks, are in tune with these Ahmen beings. Obviously. The Illuminati, the enlightened ones. They're making contact with what we're supposed to be making contact with as the Ahmen race. But y'all disconnected. Why? Because our people are caught in Christianity. They're caught in Islam. They're caught in Judaism, Israelitism. And they have the tools within those things, but they don't know how to use them. They have the light. They had the candelabra. They had a six-pointed star. All instruments and tools of light to see, to connect you to the Ahmen race or the Ahmen beings, those intelligent beings. But they don't see it. They'll sit up here, them simple-minded niggas will sit up here and talk about, oh, that's some mythology the Egyptians was having. I heard the Israelites say something real dumb. This nigga said the Egyptians was having sex with crocodiles. How the hell you have sex with a crocodile? What kind of madness is that? Because they talked about animals and things like that, and they made references to animals and people. They talking about the natures of people. Then these same niggas, and they talk, oh, the Egyptians did sacrifices. Then these same niggas talk about in the Bible how they sacrificed the goat to their God. Abraham was his God told him to sacrifice his son. But then these same niggas are talking about the Egyptians being pagans. They throw that word around a lot. Pagan, don't even know what it means. It means of the fields, gods of the fields. What they call it, fertility gods. Because fertility gods don't always mean just sex. Even though the Ankh was a sex symbol, fertility gods can mean the growing of crops. Because they wanted food. You understand? Fertility. Growing of things. What makes things grow? Heat, light, sun, water, elements. All coming back to Ahmen. Why was Ahmen made the chief deity? Because that was the point where they started to understand. They referred to Amen-Re as the son. He was the first son of God, who was Amen, the son of Amen. That one who received Amen's intelligence on earth. Same way Jesus is referred to as the son of God, because he received God's power on earth according to the story. A ripoff. A man who would come, the Son of Man, who is also spoken of in Revelation, which is the same Amen-Ra or Amen-Re. You understand? You see where they start taking the story, where the translation went from Re to Ra with the Greeks, and they start taking the story up, and it became Jesus Christ, the Son of God, which is Amen, which is actually a ripoff, a lie, a mythology. That's the mythology. Jesus, the name Jesus, and God. Gumar, Oz, and the bar. That's all the mythology. Amen and Amen-Re. Father begat son. Men begatting men. Through what? Through bloodline. Men. Physical men. But our people don't see that. That makes too much sense. No, God and Jesus. Brainwashing. Son of man, son of Amen. Son of Amen. Son of Amen. Son of a man. The intelligence of man. With each generation, your child is supposed to be more intelligent than you, brighter than you. That is an evolution. That is the elect, the receivers, the rays. The rays are the receivers, the sons, the ones who possess the power of intelligence, the ones who are smart enough to receive higher intelligence, technology, things like this. Then you find the word, and it's funny with the word technology, you find the word tekinu, tekken. Those were all developing languages that ended up being technology. Ray, receptor, receiver, it's all the same thing. There's no English, there's no translation. Where'd the white man get all these languages from? Since you saying, oh, he throwing stuff together, probably, oh, that ain't right. Where did the white man get all this language from? Who the hell taught him how to talk? I told you he was in the caves going glug, 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 glug like a goddamn caveman. Who taught him how to talk? He learned how to talk from you. He didn't know nothing. He learned by watching you do stuff. Anything that he's teaching you in society, he just flipped it around, brought confusion to it to confuse the hell out you niggas, and then now y'all worshiping him and his false names on your real story, on your real accounts. I don't like to say story because once you say story, people start thinking a lie or a made up, something made up, an imaginary thing. But even with something that's so-called imaginary, there's an image. That means you had to see it somewhere, even if you change the names. If you look in the feed, people thought I was playing a little joke when I talked about, there's a picture of me in the feed with a Superman shirt on and the S. The shield, the Superman shield, right? Now, even that S symbol and those colors play a part in the reality of Amen, Let me show you what I mean. Those three colors, red, blue, and yellow, represented the what? They said the three sons, according to the Superman story. Also represented the colors that the priest of Ahmen wore. You understand? Look it up. Red, yellow, and blue represented the colors of the priest of Ahmen. Right? The ones who kept the laws or kept the codes of conduct, kept the people in order. Right? Now, the S, if you look at the Superman S, look at the symbol really good. It's a serpent. Weren't the Egyptians always wearing serpents on their crowns? The pharaohs and stuff wore serpents on their crowns. Right? It was a ruling symbol. Now, according to the story of Superman, his father sent him, his son, to earth, and he received his father's power on earth. See the difference? You see? Father to son again. The Ahmen and Amen-Re story. That's a ripoff. Superman, his father Jor-El, and he's the son Ka-El, sent his son to earth. His son received his power on earth. It's a ripoff. Came from us. The Kryptonians. Crypt. Who were talking, like I explained before, who buried in crypts? We did. The Ahmen beings showed us how to bury in crypts. We buried the Ahmen beings buried in crypts and in tombs. And the race of that Superman came from is called Kryptonians, because the humans have an obsession with death. Crypt. It's all the Ahmen story. All the Ahmen symbols, the Amenic symbols, all translated today, even in your thing about God and Jesus. Jesus being 32 years old, which represents 3 to 2 is 5, which represents a vision of the fifth dimension, receiving knowledge from on high, and then dying at the age of 33. All symbolism, receiving and rising at the age of 33, which the Masons took in. It's all the Ahmen story, Amen-Re. Sun rising and setting. The language, look at it. Amendments. What freed our people? Even the name Amen followed our people even into this society. I said that when we were slaves here, you had a man by the name of Abraham. You understand? Who freed the slaves under the 13th Amendment. 13. I told you what the number 13 represented. Represented a new people. Did I not say the black race are the new people? N-U-N-E-W, it's the same phonetic. They did that purposely. The Masons freed our people purposely in that time under the 13th Amendment. Look at the word, amendment, A-M-E-N. All this is not coincidence. That was all a Masonic ritual, all of that. Because they were keeping the laws and the order of Amen. They were in tune. Right? It followed us all the way up to this day. Amen still follows our people. The vibration of Amen follows our people. Even to me talking about Amen into the future. Because them niggas in the Egyptology and in the conscious community, they're going to just give you some nonsense that you heard 1,000 times about Amen in the past. You understand? Tell me about Amen in the future and how it relates to our people. That's what I want to hear. We know about Amen in the past, because if you keep talking about Amen in the past, people are going to think mythology, and they're not going to think it really mean nothing to them. You understand that? They're not going to understand that those beings are Set, Osir, I can't think any, Shu and all of those were Amen beings. They were all under the species of Amen. Those were Amen beings. That was a race of advanced beings. You understand that? Higher than men, higher than humans. The manifestation of them is the black race. Those of you who are walking the earth, who were supposed to be the caretakers on the planet, who were supposed to be vibrating that name and living that out as a race of Amen beings. That's who you are today. You are the Amen beings. You are the God race. You are the Amen beings, the gods walking next to the humans. They live in you. Some nigga gonna ask me, oh, well, where's Amen? Why I can't see him? Why I can't talk? For what? You see Amen in us. Amen is in us. We are the Ahmen beings. We are their bloodline descendants. That's real. Look at that face of Ahmen, and you look at our people. That's us. But we don't want that. We want Ahmen of the past. We want to believe that's a myth, and because we've been thoroughly brainwashed. Like I said, I had the Nation of Islam. That's why I keep bringing up. It cracked me up. These niggas sat up here and told me that, oh, that's far-fetched, brother. No, I don't believe no black statue God. But yet you believe in a white man is your God. Right? You believe in a white man is your God. You don't acknowledge that these Illuminati that rule over your ass and everybody on this planet believe in Ahmen, and they bow down to Ahmen, but you tell me you don't bow down to Ahmen. You don't acknowledge Ahmen is powerful, but they bow down to him, and they over you. Are you serious? And you telling me about some guy that came to y'all in the 30s? Are you serious? You don't acknowledge a black, but yet y'all say the black man is God. Do y'all really believe that? I'm sitting up here pushing up a black God or a deity. I'm saying you right. The black man is God. The black woman is goddess. I'm saying it. Y'all sitting up here talking about, when I say that, I don't believe it. But I thought y'all believe the black man is God. Maybe y'all don't. Obviously you don't. Obviously you still believe the white man is God. Nothing has changed from Jesus to forward. You understand? When the hell did the black man get to be God? Or when the white man say so, right? Give me a break. For those of our people, like I said, don't get caught up in the whole Egyptology thing. Figure out and acknowledge who Ahmen is today in our people. See, that's the thing that's been trying to get us off tune. Ahmen is the true and living God. There is no other God. You understand that? We were saying that name and sealing our prayers off when we were empowered, then we got disconnected. It was right in front of our face. Hell, the church used to refer to Jesus as Amen. In the name of Jesus, Amen. But you thought they were saying, so be it. That's not what they were saying. When they used the language, they used Amen as a title. The name Amen is a title. You understand? It's not just a name, it's a title. It means eternal beings, powerful eternal beings, omni beings. What does word omni mean? Ever living, everlasting. Omni. When people chant out into the universe, they're going Om into the universe. They're chanting to that planet that's moving in the universe, that planet from which the Ahmen beings came from, that world. You understand that? When Elijah Muhammad talked about God and them on a ship and a spaceship and things like, it was misunderstood. But he understood that God was in a world, and they talked about a whirlwind, right? That was a world. You understand? A world. They were saying WIHIRL. No, they was actually speaking about a world, a planet. You understand? That was more advanced than ours, that these God beings came from. This is not mythology. This is reality. These Ahmen beings are reality. Higher intelligence went into this planet, and it came through us. But it stopped with us. Why? And it went to other people because we disconnected. We accepted their belief. This is not belief. This is factual. This is reality. Look at the past and look at what we are today. Look at me in 2012 speaking about Ahmen into the future. Nobody's really doing that. Still giving you nonsense about Ahmen in the past. That shows you where their mind is at. That shows you that our people are still disconnected. When you hear the Egyptologists talking about Ahmen in the past and that Ahmen was a god in Egypt, and and they start telling you, they give you the basic story, and they're not linking it up to the future, that means they disconnected. They disconnected. The people in religion who talk a bit against Ahmen, they can't even tell you why they say Amen or Amen or Amin, as the Muslims say at the end of their prayers. They can't even tell you the first reason why they say it. They don't even know why they say that or where it come from. They'll tell you it came from the Hebrew language. It did not. It did not. Your Israelites were supposed to be the last keepers of those codes of conduct that the ancient Kemites or the ancient Egyptians had. They were the last keepers of those 613 laws. You understand that? After the Greeks and the Romans came in and the Israelites formed as the lower class people who were amongst the ancient Egyptians, they were the last ones to keep the law. That's why they came together. And they had the 613 commandments, which came from the 613 codes of Hammurabi, or the 613 negative confessions of the Egyptians, which was all amalgamated into 10 commandments. 6, 3, and 1 equals 10. Breakdown. All of it connects. So when the Israelites are sitting up here talking some nonsense about, well, the Egyptians was evil and they did this and they did that and blah, blah, blah and whatnot. Like I said, they telling lies. They don't know what the hell they talking about. They going based on some story that the Greeks and the Romans, some nonsense that they hyped up and tried to put against the Egyptians or the so-called Kemites because they had a hate for them. When the Catholic Church and the Council of Nicaea was creating the church, they had to make these so-called Egyptians look like demonic or evil people. Why? Because they were stealing their stories, and they wanted to distance themselves. They wanted to distance themselves from the people, so they called them pagans. They called them demonic or evil people. They made them look like that just to distance themselves, while at the same time simultaneously stealing their stories, stealing their culture, stealing their intelligence, taking it as their own and changing the names over to Jesus Christ and God and angels and all this other madness in their language, and confounding and confusing our people, getting us to worship the image of white people. And we disconnected ourselves from Ahmen. Now we don't even know who Ahmen is today. We got to still look back into ancient Egypt. And a lot of the people that sit up here and listen to this, they still want the Ahmen of ancient Egypt. That's real to them. Not Ahmen today. That proves you disconnected. If you still trying to look over into so-called ancient Egypt and still trying to do some rituals, then that proves you disconnected now, because it's not about rituals anymore. The Egyptians, or the so-called Egyptians, didn't have no religion. They followed customs and laws and codes of conduct that was necessary for living. You understand that? Just like any other society. They were some of your first developed societies. You understand that? They didn't follow a religion. They acknowledged these people as an advanced race of beings. But that whole structure of prayer and fasting and stuff a lot of that stuff was brought in by foreigners. It was brought in by foreigners. You understand that? Our people were receptors, receivers. That's why, like I said, you look on the walls in Egypt, you see people wearing crowns on their heads with things that look like metal attachments to them, i.e. antennas. That was the whole idea of it. Pulling in reception. Even our people in the church today, why do y'all systematically say, I'm trying to receive what you're saying when you're trying to understand something? I'm trying to receive what you're saying. Why do we systematically say that? Why do we instinctively talk about reception? And even the old church people, they don't even know why they say it. They talk about reception because that's what it is, receiving that power. Receiving that power here in this day and time to move forward. Because we're supposed to be a steady line or a steady race, a steady bloodline of Ahmen beings, a race of gods on earth. That's what we're supposed to be. Not some disconnected group of worshipers like the damn white man and the rest of the human race. They supposed to be worshiping Ahmen, not you. So when you niggas is up here doing that stuff from Egypt and praying, how do I pray to Ahmen? How do I connect to Ahmen? Nigga, you acting like the white man and the rest of the races. You're not supposed to pray to no Ahmen. You're not part of the creation. The creation prays, not the manifestation. The manifestation receives and does what you're supposed to do. If you are out of tune with that, if you are out of reception with that, that's because you got too much nonsense in your head. You got too many beliefs and philosophies from the beast in your head. You still a slave. You still a servant. You still want to worship like they supposed to be doing. It's natural for them to worship. They're going to worship their creator. Ahmen is not your creator. You understand? You come from the bloodline of Ahmen. You are one race, the so-called black man and black woman. Are not those gods and goddesses that's standing up in the pyramids and in Samaria and in Nubia and all over the damn place, are they not black men and black women? So what the hell y'all talking about praying for? What the hell y'all talking about? Well, how do I connect? Y'all sound like a bunch of goddamn white people or some East Indians or some damn Arabs. They praying. You understand? And they're not even really praying. They're not even really praying. You understand that? They're not doing that. They don't really believe that. They don't. They believe in their own animal magnetism. They own lust and desire. That's what they believe in. But they just do the God thing and whatnot because it's like the lowly people they are. They know there's a higher power. They know there's a higher intelligence. You understand that? They know that. And they pray or they ask for forgiveness, I should say, for their lowly nature. They're speaking to their creators. They're looking at their creators, and y'all don't even know it. You don't even know it. You are those receivers. You're supposed to be the rays on earth. You're supposed to be the receivers. Amen-Re is here. He is receiving intelligence on earth in physical form right now as a receptor to lead the black race, the future race, the elect, as it was promised in the Revelation into the future. Amen's name is all throughout the book of Revelation. The hidden, the Son of Man. That's all Amen and Amen-Re. Father and Son, receiver, I should say, sender and receiver. Sender and receiver. That's the relationship between Amen and Amen-Re. Sender and receiver. Some of you say, well, where is Amen? In the future. I'll explain what I mean by that when we come back. The Amen and the Amen-Re, two different beings, two different people, right? The same Amen of Egypt is Enki of Sumeria, is Amma of the Dogons. It's the same people. It's the same one we acknowledge as the true and living God today, and that we acknowledge ourselves as the bloodline descendants, us within the state of Mentel. We acknowledge ourselves as Amen beings, not human, as the bloodline descendants of the Amen beings. Same gods, same deities, same supreme race, same God race, same advanced beings, same people. They're not of that time. They came through those times. You understand? You said the people couldn't even understand when I said that Amen exists in every dimension, in every time frame. But don't you teach that God is omnipresent and omnipotent? What the hell does that mean? That means he exists in every time frame, every dimension, duh. As the creator of it, right? There are 13 dimensions that house this planet, right? 13 divided time frames. And Amen exists in each one. And Amen is a future being, a future man. And he has receivers here on earth. That's real. Receptors, rays on earth. Yes, in each time frame, he has receivers. The black race, the elect are supposed to be the receivers of Amen reception or Amen rays. Y'all supposed to be the receivers, the elect, the 144,000. Y'all supposed to be receiving higher intelligence. That's why your telepathy will start to turn on. Your intuition, you black women, will start to turn on. You elect of the black women who are coming out of the so-called black race, the people in darkness. And your light will come on. You will transform from the black race, the elect, into the bright race. I said the bright, not the white, the bright race. You will become that elect. You will become receivers of that light or that higher intelligence. You understand that? That's why our flag in the state of Mentel looks that way, with the charge or the current symbol as power and light. Light is used to transmit messages. All right? You are the first receiver or the rays of light or the receivers of Amen's light of intelligence because y'all have souls. Black people are the only ones on the planet that have souls or solar plexus. You are the only ones. That's why you can receive it if you are in tune. If you're not under the submental mind frame of the white man's religion or the Arab's religion, if you're not sitting up here talking about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Freemasonry, Moorish science, all that nonsense that got to do with religion, you understand? You would receive it. You will be a ray. You will be the ray people. You will be those Ahmen beings, those mentalists, those mentellians, those receivers, because a mental or mental being is one who is a receiver of light, of power, of intelligence. Mental, men, Ahmen, it's environment. It's all mental. It's all higher intelligence. That's what it's translating as. That's all it is. But as simple as that is, it's complicated to a bunch of Negroes who's sitting around looking for some mystical Egyptian cryptic BS, some ancient nonsense. No, you're not going to hear none of the conscious crap. We're going to be straight and to the point with it. It's higher intelligence. That's all it has ever been. Advanced intelligence from advanced people. The Ahmen beings are here walking the planet. Their descendants are walking the planet amongst the black race today. Not no damn Egyptian deity, and y'all trying to BS your way through it in these BS lectures that you niggas in the conscious movement be giving. Lying. Keeping our people in a state of confusion instead of letting them know that they the God race, but then maybe you niggas don't know. Maybe you just don't know. I know y'all, we know you lying. For those of you, our people who caught on to the scam, who spending $20 and $25 to come see you talk or coming to buy your book that you niggas keep telling the same story over and over again. Certain people were doing a lecture about Ahmen. You got certain people now all of a sudden doing lectures about Ahmen. I wonder why. I'm sure they're going to hit you with the whole philosophy about ancient Egypt and what they meant back then. Nigga, you wasn't even back then, so you don't know. We piecing it together. But that's only going to come from the receivers, the ones who are sincere. They're going to receive that knowledge because they're not trying to confuse the people. I'm not trying to confuse the people. I'm drawing a straight line on who God is. God, Ahmen, the supreme being, the one and only true God, was a black man that walked the planet Earth. An intelligent, highly advanced black man. You understand? The white man know that's the truth. Like I said, why you think he made Morgan Freeman God? Morgan Freeman was Ahmen. Hello? Morgan Freeman represented Ahmen. In the white suit, the clean slate, the blank mind, the receipt, the sender, and you of the elect are supposed to be the receivers in this day and time, the receptors, the rays, R-E, the ones who are becoming renewed, the new people, the receivers, the true governors of the planet, the lords of the earth. You're supposed to be the caretakers watching over the humans as the manifestations of Ahmen on earth, as Ahmen moves through the future. Ahmen moves in the future world, always. And he is sending intelligence, and those Ahmen beings are sending intelligence to the elect who are in tune as receivers. Like I said before, the black people in the church, I always used to be like, I'm trying to receive what you're saying. I'm trying to receive. So they understood it was based on reception. They kept talking about a spiritual reception. No, it was a mental reception. You're supposed to be pulling in higher intelligence from those Ahmen beings. Just as the ancient Egyptians, the Sumerians, those elect, you understand, who were of them, were pulling in that higher intelligence. Just as the white man is jacking your intelligence. He's jacking your knowledge. He's pulling it in from his satellites, from those Ahmen beings who are sending it from their future world that's constantly moving in the universe. That's real. The Sumerians talked about the Beirut, Mentella. They talked about it. The planet that is not bound by universes, by solar system. This biosphere called Earth, this planet that was set up by them, that depended on the solar system to heat it, to give it light, in order for them to send messages to those beings who were their manifestation on Earth. Those elect who would raise in the new day to receive higher intelligence to guide this thing into the future, that's real. No, Ahmen is not from no ancient Egypt, not no mythological god. Y'all got that whole terminology of mythological. But look at the word, even the word mythological. 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 It's an oxymoron. Play on words. The white man letting you know it's a myth that is logical, that is true. He's playing with you. But like I said, to the simple-minded Pan-Africanist Negroes who want some drawn-out thing about Egypt and, why they was praying there and some drawn-out BS, well, we don't do that here. We give it to you how it is. Advanced intelligence, higher intelligence, advanced people, the Ahmen beings. That's what it is. A God race. I am amongst the rays, the receivers. That's why I'm sharing knowledge with my people. I stand up on it. I am an Ahmen being, the elect of the Ahmen race. I'm not alone. Some of you out there are of the elect. Some of you niggas, y'all just, like I said, y'all just, disconnected Amenites. Y'all disconnected. Bunch of Amenites. Those in the darkness, disconnected Ammonites. Those who are under the submental state. I told you, men, environmental, submental, mental, Amen. You see the N there. The Lord, the eternal, it's there. Those words there for a reason. That N, that phonetic, that is there for a reason. That pronunciation is there for a reason. Don't get hung up on, you playing semantic. No, nigga, I'm not playing no semantic. Stop with the white man words. Those Amen beings put those Amen, those men's, those ends there for a reason to gear us back to where we fell off at. That in the word, where they say the word, in the word is power. The word is power. Because the word can lead you back. You understand? The word can lead you back to your path of where you fell off at. It's like a map. You understand that? The word or certain words in pronunciation is meant to lead you back to where you fell off. If you follow the timeline, if you follow the linear state of knowledge of the word in to men to Amen, you'll find where it is now. But if you going in circles in Egyptology, because a lot of you niggas just caught up in Egyptology, a lot of you caught up in the Sumerian thing, a lot of you caught up in that, and you want to hear circular knowledge about those time frames. I'm not doing that. This is not Egyptology class. This is not about Egypt. This is about Amen, the continuous one, the eternal being, the God race, the future race. Amen always resonates as a future being. Always. God is futuristic, always. Yet can come into any time frame, past, present, future, exists in all time frames, but constantly moving in the future and out of time. And we are receivers who are receiving higher knowledge to keep moving in time, forward, as the Ahmen race. We're supposed to be the true lords of the world. You were able, when Elijah Muhammad came and said the black man is God, hell, that came straight from Egypt. Don't tell me no crap about Master Fard Muhammad. That came from Egypt. Ain't no way. Don't tell me that's no Islam, because ain't nowhere in Islam they talking about no man is God. They believe in a spook God in Islam. Elijah Muhammad was teaching the black man was God. And who taught the black man was God first but the Egyptians? They taught that the black man was God first. The Sumerians, all of them. That was ancient world teachings that we just started getting back in tune with. You understand that? Whether Fard and those people brought it as a message to the black man. You understand? Because a messenger is a receiver. The angels, when they talk about angels in religion, the word angel translates as messenger. Mela'ika. Mela'ika. Messenger. Right? That's what it translates as. A messenger is a receiver of something. A receiver and a giver. All about reception. But our people miss that. They don't understand. Tell me how Ahmen resonates in this day and time to our people. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about the Ahmen of the past. We know about the Ahmen of the past. You understand? I know about the Ahmen of the past. I'm not interested in the Ahmen of the past. I'm interested in the Ahmen of the future. The living beings. We are the Ahmen beings of the future. You understand? We are the Ahmen race of the future, the elect. Not you Negroes who are under the sub-mental. Y'all disconnected. Y'all Amenites. Y'all, the lights off. You understand? The lights off on y'all. Y'all dead Ammonites. Y'all dead. You know, y'all not of the elect. The elect are the ones who are receiving, that's pulling in that intelligence, that Ahmen knowledge, that in knowledge. It's a continual pull. It's a continual reception that was interrupted. That's why we ran up into Freemasonry, because Freemasonry was familiar to us, in so much as that Freemasonry is based in Egypt, in the worship of Amen. For those of our people who know that, who get up that high, who receive that, not many of our people get up there to receive that. Yeah, they keep the lesser, they call it the lesser lights and things like that. In Masonry, they keep the lesser things like Islam, Christianity. They use those symbols as a controlling tool or controlling signals to control the masses. You understand? But when you get to a master point, when you get to the high up shrine, all that stuff, start realizing, you start knowing about Amen, the true and living God. That the high up Masons, they don't worship the Shriners, the Illuminati. They don't worship no goddamn Jesus and they don't believe in no devil and all that other crap. They give that to y'all to consume. That's why it keeps you poor. That's why it keeps you black people with nothing. That's why it keeps y'all begging. Y'all been programmed systematically to beg your God. Why? Because you were given a slave religion and you were meant to be on your knees in Islam. Well, didn't the Arabs enslave us into Islam? And then made y'all say Amen? Didn't the Christian white man enslave us with Christianity? And in the Bible, wasn't the Israelites always in bondage to somebody? But yet when we had Amen, we were free and we were ruling the planet. So any nigga today that's trying to push Islam, Christianity, Judaism, or anything associated with that, you niggas are under bondage still mentally. You still under bondage. You understand? If you're not pushing Amen in this day and time, I'm not talking about no ancient Amen. You understand? You understand? I'm not talking about no ancient Amen. I'm talking about future. The Amen race, to understand or have an ultra standing of what that really meant. That it was a race of beings, not no God that was stored up in Egypt, not some myth, not some fake God, not some goddamn statue. It was more than that. That was real. He was real. Those Amen beings are real. They live in the elect. The elect are receiving their intelligence, i.e. inspiration, advanced knowledge right now. It's starting to come. The minute we separate ourselves from this madness, you understand? The minute we separate ourselves from this madness of religion and things like that, we'll be able to be those Amen rays again, those receptors. That God race, because they looking to inhabit bodies. When it talked about God inhabiting the bodies of man, God knows beings inhabiting the bodies of men and women. It's talking about them receiving that intelligence in their physical shell to advance them. That's what you're supposed to be doing in this day and time, receiving it. But if you notice our people are dumb as hell. We're the dumbest people on the damn planet. You understand? And even in our stupidity, other people still found. Even with the black man walking around with his pants hanging off his ass, people still found. So that proves you're supposed to be the God race. You're supposed to be leading the world. You understand that? When the damn white man sitting up here where he was painting his face black and making fun of you and putting an afro wig on his head, he was emulating you. Because I don't know anybody who would sit up here and do something that stupid. You understand? Just to make a joke out of somebody. You the jackass that sit up there and put blackface on and all that. They were trying to emulate you. They wanted to be like you. Al Jolson, tap dance and all that. They was trying to be like you. They ain't making fun of you. They want to be you. You understand? They make it seem like it's fun because they know it push your buttons and it hurts your feelings, but they trying to be you. Who the hell gonna sit there and put black all over their face and put afro wigs on their head? You gotta be crazy. That wouldn't even occur to us as black people to put white makeup on our face and put straight wigs on our head and try to emulate them. We ain't sitting through all that madness. But they want to emulate you. They want to be you. They hate the fact that they not you. You understand? They hate it because they know you have soul. They know you have pulling power. The soul gives you the power to receive. That's your reception power. You have souls. S-O-U-L. You have a solar plex. You have that light from the sun connects to your solar plex for you to receive intelligence through it. You receive encoded messages. You receive reception. When your consciousness is not low, when you're not vibrating on the submental state, you are receiving higher intelligence from those Ahmen beings. They're still here. Their intelligence is in the world. Without their intelligence in the world, without their presence in the world, there would be no world. Where do you think the white man is getting his technology from? You think it's just falling out of the sky? You think he's just thinking all this up on his own? You think he went from being a goddamn caveman to computers and planes and all the other technology he got? He got that from you. He got that from having you in bondage and using you as a receptor and then taking your energy from you. When he goes up in you black women sexually, he's taking your energy. When you black men go into his woman, they receiving your energy. As dead as it might be, they still receiving it. You are transforming their bodies. You understand? You have that power within your within you, your bloodline, within your sperm, black men. You have that power, that fire coming through from traveling down through your spine, what they call the kundalini, coming through that and coming out through your testicles and whatnot. That's coming out from your mind, come from your brain down your spine, out of your through your penis. Or you black women have it housed within your vagina when the white man goes in you. They're pulling from you. So all these people are pulling from you. They're receiving from you the little bit of light you have. They're taking it. You understand that? They're trading off their artificial genetic and putting it in yours. You understand that? You feel that power. They know you're soul people, but your souls are low. Your vibration, your energy on the planet is low right now because your frequency is off. You're supposed to be in tune with that Ahmen frequency, that high mental frequency. You're supposed to be receiving that higher knowledge right now, which we refer to in the state of mental as MENTELLECT. Only it's going to be for the elect or the chosen, the rays of this time, the receivers or the receptors of this time. I told you before, for you people that's tuned into my, oh, well, he trying to link that language back then with this language. It's all one language. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it throughout. It's all one language from the God race, from the Ahmen beings. English is from the God race. Spanish is from the God race. It's just like I said. That's why you notice, you see all, I don't care where you go all over the world, you'll see all certain words are the same. Ahmen was meant to be the same. You have certain people who mispronounce things from a certain way because of what part of the area of the world they in, right? And they'll mispronounce certain things, but they're all trying to say the same thing. Because, like I said, who taught the white man how to talk? He had to learn that from somebody. Just like your baby learned how to watch and learned how to talk by watching you. You taught them how to talk. You understand? Someone generated images in your head. Thoughts and ideas just don't come. They're generated images because you're the one, you are the receiver that's supposed to bring that knowledge forward. When Ahmen chooses a ray, because I was telling the sister that a ray, an Ahmen ray, exists in all different dimensions. Just as there was an Ahmen ray in Egypt, there's an Ahmen ray today, and there'll be future Ahmen rays to come. All that means is receivers, or what they call in religion as messengers or prophets. Because the whole idea of a prophet came from Ahmen Re again. Did not the prophets, Muhammad and all these people, all these so-called prophets in your religion, were they not receivers of God's knowledge? Were they not receivers of God's prophecy or higher knowledge? That's a straight rip-off from Ahmen Re. Those who received higher intelligence. Muhammad, they told the story about Muhammad, how he got this vision that God sent this knowledge to him and he wrote the Quran. Receiving. All right? Now the Muslims believe that. They don't ask they can't ask Muhammad or nobody, Muhammad dead. They can't ask him to back that up. But they obviously acknowledge that men do receive intelligence from God. So then when I say it, why does that sound crazy? When I'm talking about Ahmen Re as a receiver, or a Ray or a receiver, why does that sound crazy? Why does it sound crazy to the Nation of Islam? Why? Because you used to your receivers being white men and Arabs, because you don't believe the black man is God. So stop telling that lie. I'm sorry I got to put y'all on blast, but y'all got to stop with that, man. We're not putting no more images of no white people up. Sorry. Well, we not in the state of mentality. Y'all do what y'all want to do. But the black man, the black woman today, we can't afford to do that. We can't afford to keep putting up no images of no white people. Because what does that say to your children? What does that say to them? When you got a white image of a man on the wall and you're not telling them they the God race. You're going to say they the God race, but that's sending mixed messages. But then you got a white man on the wall talking about he's God, he's the God. Are you serious? I could readily accept Elijah Muhammad as the God because at least he stayed and did the work. He didn't come and give out a message and leave 3 years later and creeped out somewhere, 3 and just disappeared. That's spookism. That's mystery God stuff. I could readily accept Elijah Muhammad as God in person. In fact, the matter is, he was an Ahmen Re. He was a receiver on a lower level, but he was a receiver. You understand? He was a receiver because he was part of the bloodline. Fard wasn't. He was just a messenger. He was the one that brought the message that the black man was God, and then what did he do? What did messengers do? They left. He left. He didn't stay. Messengers come, bring a message, and leave. Bye. That's what he did. I'm just bringing that out because, I said I was heavily influenced by the work that this man did. But like I said, that work was passed on, and that whole idea of the black man being God didn't come from far. It didn't come from Islam. That came from ancient Egypt. And I said the Nation of Islam's foundation is Masonry, which their foundation is ancient Egypt and Ahmen. So all that comes from Ahmen. All that translates out of Ahmen. The whole ray thing, the whole light, the candelabra that the Israelites hold as they symbol as a sign of light. The 6-pointed star, which is 2 pyramids overlaid, which represent light. All that's dealing with light. The only thing that deals with death is Christianity. The sign of their Jesus hanging on a cross. That's the only thing that deals with death. Because, and why it deals with death is because the penis, the cross actually represents 2 penises crossing. It represents 2 penises crossing. Pedophilia, small one and a little one, because they copied it from the Ankh. The Ankh represented a sex symbol which represented eternal life. When the Greeks got a hold of it, the Greeks got a hold of it, being that they were a homosexual society, they took the circle off the top, which represented the woman's vagina, and put the cross of 2 to represent 2 men. Homosexuality. You understand that? Jesus came here by God, but without having sex with a woman. See the connection? A whole homosexual doctrine was brought in. Ahmen and the women and the men and the connection was taken out. The natural connection of man and woman was taken out and replaced with a homosexual doctrine. That's a myth. That's all mythology. The stuff that you follow in the Bible and your Quran, that's all homosexuality on the low. Only God and his angels, men, no women there. But you look in Egypt, you look in Samaria, you see men gods, you see women gods and whatnot. The men, that's natural. A male god is supposed to have a woman with him, right? So then why, when I look in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, is all the God and his angels all men. Somebody altered the teachings of Ahmen, the Ahmen race. Somebody altered that. Wonder who did that. Yet you black men, y'all still follow that. You know, where the female angels at? Where the woman angels? Where the women goddesses? You understand? You know, where the female goddesses at? You ever ask that in religion? That tells you something. If no women are there, that proves that homosexuality is present. That whole religious doctrine was thought up by homosexuals. No women. The priests, no women. Priest of Ahmen had women. They had wives. You understand that? The whole Israelite priest thing came from the priest of Ahmen. Hell, you see, America or Amenraica? We're going to touch on that in a minute. America or Amenraica? Red, white, and blue with the yellow in there for under the fringes. Are those the colors of Ahmen? Yeah. Yeah. Project set up by Masons? Yeah. The God is Ahmen? Yeah. Yeah. Y'all the only ones that don't know the damn secret. Y'all the only ones that's in the dark. You black men and black women are the only ones in the dark that Ahmen is the true and living God. Y'all think Ahmen is a myth. That's why y'all not going to receive any power. That's why you're not going to receive any real power, because you still looking for Jesus. You still looking for Yahweh, El, whatever, some God they told you about, and you're not looking for that which is natural, your bloodline, genetic power. You're not looking for that, because that it can't be that simple. We got to pray and bang our heads on the wall and pray for something to happen, when all you have to do is stop following them. Acknowledge the truth and stop following and doing what they do. Because, hell, they don't even really do it no more. They left y'all to do it in religion. You're the only one that's disconnected. The elite, I should say, they are acknowledging Ahmen as the true and living God in this day and time. And they still doing it. They still doing it. They still doing it. Those amendments is still in place. You understand that? All that's still in place. The structure, the masonry, the aluminum, all that's still in place. So they acknowledging it. And they drawing power that y'all not getting because y'all mentally dead. But the elect are going to get it, and they're going to be the receivers after a while. You understand that? They're going to receive that electric power or that electrified power from that God race, who will send it, i.e., through mental messages, which you call telepathy or intuition. All that's of the Ahmen race. All that's Ahmen power. You understand? That's not no spiritual powers like the Israelites. It's mental powers, straight up, mind power. That's what it is. The light, the solar plex, the sun over the heads of those deities in the past, that represented intelligence, light, third eye, all that's dealing with the mind. They talk about the people are going to receive, the elect are going to receive the knowledge of God in their forehead, meaning in their mind. The mind's eye, the mind, that mental receptor, it's all linking up if you pay attention. But like I said, to the ones who caught into Egyptology, this is not going to make sense to you. It's not for you. So, don't tune in. Go down there and go read some Van Sertima, Dr. Ben. No disrespect to them, but that's all circular knowledge. We're looking for Ahmen in the present, in the future, in the future state, in that lineal state. We're not looking for Ahmen in the past. We know about that. We heard all that already. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Ain't got nothing to do with us now. We know about that. It's supposed to be we opening up the circle and making it into a straight line. A line into future evolution. How the hell is that in the past telling me about what they did back then going to help us now? How is that going to help us now? We can't do what they did. You got simple-minded niggas still talking about, yeah, well, how it's going to help me to build a pyramid? Why are you trying to build a pyramid, nigga? Can you take care of your family? Can you take care of your woman? Can you build a school for your children? Can you stop working on the white man's job? You talking about building a pyramid or some madness or walking around with a goddamn copper ankh on it? Come on, man. You niggas just like I said, y'all want to be fashionably black. Y'all the fashionably black crowd. That's the ones that go to the conscious little things and they say things like Ashe and Black Power and they throw up the fists and whatnot. They not real. They not real. You're not gonna get no intelligence from them. These people are disconnected. They're of your black race. They're the disconnected Ammonites. They're the disconnected Ammonites, the ones in the darkness. The mentalists are becoming the connected Amen beings, those who are receiving, the receptors, the rays in this day and time. The rays are the ones who are the sons of God, the sons of Amen, the receivers of Amen's intelligence. The Son of Man, the Son of Amen in the future will receive higher intelligence. He is amongst us today. I had to take a breath. Questions, comments. We in the last 11 minutes of our broadcast. I'm opening up the phone for questions and comments. All you Egyptologists, if you want to come in here and spit your piece and whatnot, I always left it open. I know my people. I see my people in the chat room. Anybody got any questions in the chat room I could feed off, I could answer, because I'm going to do my last. If not, I'm going to do my last of the questions, make sure I hit all those questions, because I want to make it simple and plain to my people. We're not doing spookology. We're not doing mythology here. This is a real bloodline connection. You understand? This is a real bloodline connection. 916. 916, you're on the air. 916. Peace.
Oh, yeah, man. It's a real good talk. Everything connects, It makes sense, what you talk about, just about the Amen, just a comment, just about, how Amen's supposed to be the hidden, so-called, okay? And, you say that that's who we are, and it rings truth, because the veil is being lifted, so to call, right now in these days. So truth is being, brought out like you're doing right now. And, it's just under the veil, you see, and the veil is hiding everything. And so Amen was hidden. So basically, it's just resonating, just a thought, I had, while he's speaking on it. So, I just, yeah.
Yes, sir. The truth is coming out. The truth is coming out.
Yeah.
Amen is the true and living God, and the black man and the black woman should be coming together in the name of Amen, not in the name of Allah, not in the name of Jesus Christ, not in the name of Yahweh Shah. Those are the false lesser gods that was created by mankind, the human race, for us to follow. We are the Amen beings, and we're supposed to be coming together in the knowledge of Amen, the true and living God. As we once were, so we have to go forward to. I don't like to say going back, but forward to.
Okay, now can I ask a personal question? You may not answer it, but it's like, how are you receiving your knowledge? Because I'm open to all knowledge, like starseed knowledge, added book knowledge, so-called oracle knowledge, all kind of knowledge. Did make sense of it, put it all together. Is that what you have done, or is it just just a sublime, one of them things that's in us, like you're talking about?
It's in us. It's developing in me, because how it started developing me is when I got tired and I walked away from all the old schools and whatnot, and I cleared my mind out. And when I was sincere, I started to receive this knowledge known to me as MENTELLECT. I started receiving it because I became a ray once I emptied out all the nonsense. See, because higher intelligence is supposed to be coming to us constantly, but the problem is it's blocked by nonsense, by religion and all the crap that we got in our head, and the submental state that we're dwelling on. That's why we're not receiving it. A lot of our people don't want to start. A lot of our people don't want to start with a clean slate with that white robe and be students again. We don't want to do that. We got our egos. We've been Muslim for this long. We've been this for that long. We've been Christians. We've been Israelites. We've been Moors. We've been all this other stuff that ain't did a damn thing for us in the last millennium. So we don't want to start with a clean slate and go toward Amen again. Go forward, not back, but forward toward Amen in the future state. Because when we had Amen, we was in power. We was receiving. We was building. Now we under these religions and these things, and we ain't doing a damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's how the knowledge got here in the books anyway, as in just it was coming and we was receiving, we was writing it down as it went. And
Exactly.
like and like you said earlier, they came and tried to represent it as themselves and then put us under a certain type of spell. So yeah, and that's a good thing how you broke down English too, man. I gotta give you big ups on that. That was genius. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
I'm just one of many people that's going to be receiving. We're going to start our reception within the state of Mentel. I am Ahmen Ray in this day and time. I am a receiver of Amen's intelligence in this day and time. And it's going to be many that's going to come. It's going to be many that's going to come within the state of Mentel. That's why we put the state of Mentel together, the SOM.info, and we're breaking all of this down. But like I said, a lot of our people who caught in Egyptology, they want to stay stuck in that. Let them go ahead, man. There's no power in that in the past. There's power in the future.
Right. Yeah, because I was, I came up in a certain type of knowledge too. I had to let it all go and stuff, and and basically, I feel when you just said that, it resonated as in it's like you just cleaning all your chakras, all your energy points, and just letting everything rise up. And that's what the blockage is just that one representation of everything, as in a religion I'm talking about. And that's not true. You got to put them all together, and that's where the knowledge is coming from, the true wisdom. Yeah, so total in agreement, man. It's good to hear something fresh. So, big ups.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you for calling in, brother. We in the last 6 minutes. We're gonna close out. Play something good. I hope I was clear. On everything in the knowledge of MENTELLECT. Go to the SOM.info. Those who are listening in, go to the SOM.info. We are the Rays in this day and time. We are the Mentellians. We are the Mentellectuals, the receivers of the Ahmen intelligence of the future. We're not talking about ancient Egypt. This is not Egyptology. This is not a remix. You understand? We're not remixing anything. It's all one big continuous picture. What they was doing in Egypt was then. What we doing in America and beyond is now and into the future. So, no, this is not Egyptology. This is the knowledge of MENTELLECT, future knowledge about the God race, the Ahmen race. All right? So, what do I want to close out with? Let me see. I saw something I liked. Join us again Wednesday night when we're going to be speaking on, I believe it's the African show that we're not African. No, we're going to be speaking on the sexual evolution of a new black people, because we were thrown in the sexual revolution and, a lot of nonsense we got wrapped up in. So in this sexual revolution, we become disconnected sexually from each other as black men and black women. So, no, we're moving away from that. We need to move away from that and get on our own evolutionary path sexually to come back together and make us one in that department, physically and mentally. Get away from this whole thing that's disconnected us, our natural connection to each other. So join us Wednesday night. We're speaking on the sexual evolution of a new black people. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. This was State of Mentel Radio, and I'm out of here.